Hello everyone, it's that time of the year. It's March Madness time, one of my favorite times of the year. Not only because it falls around my birthday, but March Madness is just one of those awesome events that everyone must watch. And it's time to go over my bracket. Now, for those who watch this podcast and know me, I like to focus on round at a time. But because with March Madness, you just have to go all in and predict the whole bracket. Now for me, I'm not gonna be doing a lot of because focus on team stats and scene stats and all that, like I would for other things, just because March Madness is so unpredictable. So you just gotta go with those gut feelings. Now, of course, if a team has some injuries, then that's one thing. But other than that, just kind of go off the gut. So let's get started with the South region. In the first round, you have 1 seed Alabama versus 16 seed Texas A&M Corpus Christi, and won last night. Alabama wins there easily. Then you got 8 seed Maryland versus 9 seed West Virginia. Now this is a game that can go either way. Both teams being consistent, but I feel like West Virginia has been more consistent as of late than Maryland has. I feel like Maryland hasn't been, great, since January. So I'm going to take West Virginia winning here barely. Next, you got 5 seed San Diego State versus 12 seed Charleston. Now this one was super hard for me because I want to pick Charleston so bad. They're just a trendy upset pick there. And they're a good team, and they could win this game. But my gut's just saying no. Keep it with their San Diego State here, mainly because of their good defense. Um, and then 4 Virginia versus 13 Furman. Now again, styles make fights here. All depends on matchups. If Furman was facing potentially different 4 seed, maybe I go then. But I feel like Virginia's defense is going to lock Furman down. So Virginia winning. Next, you got 6 seed Creighton versus 11 seed North Carolina State. North Carolina State has a couple good players there, but I'm going to take Creighton here. Because one, I think they're a better overall team, and then two, they're playing way better basketball as NC State. NC State, looked like they were a lot to make it a month ago, and now they, barely avoided the last 4 in category. So I'm going to go Creighton there. And then 3 Baylor versus 14 USC Santa Barbara. Now this is one of those 14 seeds that some people may like, but I'm going to go ahead and go with Baylor there. 7 Missouri versus 10 Utah State. Now, everyone loves Utah State to get the upset here. It's just amazing how mostly everyone loves it. And I can see why, this is going to be a shootout. Both teams, trading buckets. Whoever has the ball in wins, basically. But I'm just going to go ahead and go with Missouri here to get the win, barely. 2 seed Arizona versus 15 seed Princeton. Arizona wins easily. So then in the second round, you have Alabama versus West Virginia. Now this could be interesting because West Virginia can play pretty good defense. I'm going to take Alabama to win there. San Diego State versus Virginia. This is going to be one of the defensive battles of the whole tournament right here. Very low score game. I'm going to have San Diego State pulled out because I feel like they could do a little more offensively than Virginia can. 6 seed Creighton versus 3 seed Baylor. Again, this can go either way, but I'm actually going to take Creighton here for the upset. And then 7 Missouri to Arizona. I'm taking Arizona there. So then for the Sweet 16, you have Alabama, San Diego State. I'm taking Alabama there pretty easily. And then Creighton, Arizona. This can go either way. I'm going to have Arizona barely hanging on. So you have the Elite 8 matchup of 1 seed Alabama, 2 seed Arizona. I'm going to have Alabama win to get to the Final Four. Now for the East region. In round 1, you got Purdue versus the winner tonight, Texas Southern, and Farley Dickerson. Whoever, doesn't matter who wins, Purdue will win easily. Next, you got 8 Memphis versus 9 FAU. Now, FAU get a bad draw here because if they were to face like an 8 seed Maryland or 8 seed, I'd actually have more of a chance. But because Memphis is playing such good ball right now and such good talent, I feel like they got a bad draw here. So I have Memphis winning this game. 5 seed Duke versus 12 seed Oral Roberts. Now, again, this is another one where Oral Roberts got a bad draw here. If they're facing like San Diego State, who I mentioned earlier, then maybe I take Oral Roberts. But like against a red hot Duke team, it's like sucks to suck for Oral Roberts. 4 seed Tennessee versus 13 Louisiana. I'm taking Tennessee there. 6 Kentucky versus 11 Providence. There's a lot of people who actually like Providence here for the upset. But they've just been playing such bad basketball, so like I'm not going to trust them at all for nothing, so I'm taking Kentucky there. 3 Kansas State versus 14 Montana State. Now, if there is a 14 seed that might get an upset, a lot of people think this could be the one, but I'm going to roll with Kansas State there. 7 Michigan versus 10 USC. I'm taking Michigan State. And then 2 Marquette, 15 Vermont. I'm taking Marquette easily. So then for round 2, you got 1 Purdue, 8 Memphis. Now this, Purdue better watch out here. Memphis could easily upset them. But I'm going to have Purdue hang on here, barely. 5 Duke, 4 Tennessee. Now Tennessee did have, a key player out for them. Maybe they go Tennessee, but I'm going to go with Duke here because of that. 6 Kentucky, 3 Kansas State. This one was super hard for me to predict. I feel like I can go either way here. I flipped back and forth, but I'm going to go with Kansas State here. And then 7 Michigan State, 2 Marquette. I'm going to go with Marquette. So then you got Sweet 16 of 1 Purdue, 5 Duke. An excellent matchup here. I feel like Purdue got the raw end of the stick here, getting a Duke who should have been a higher seed. They should have been 4 or 3 seed. So Purdue got the raw end here. I feel like it's going to show up here, and I feel like Duke's going to get the upset and keep their hot momentum going. 3 Kansas State, 2 Marquette. This can go either way. If I'm just going to go ahead and have Marquette get the win here, barely. And then Leah, you have Duke and Marquette, and I have Duke getting another win to make the Final Four run as a 5 seed. In the Midwest, you have 1 seed Houston, 16 seed Northern Kentucky. Houston wins easily. 8 Iowa, 9 Auburn. Now this is a coin flip type of game here, and honestly, I would go Iowa because this game's in Birmingham, so Auburn's going to have the clear home court advantage. That's why I'm going to pick Auburn here. 5 Miami versus 12 Drake. Now Drake isn't again one of those sexy, upset picks, and I will fall into that temptation of picking them mainly because Miami has some key injuries to worry about. If Miami was fully healthy, then Miami all the way. But because they're not, I'm going to go Drake. 4 Indiana, 13 Kent State. Now, if there was a 13th seed to get an upset, this would be the one with Kent State. They faced Houston and Alabama back in the regular season down to the wire, pretty tough, and Indiana's so hot and cold. But I'm going to pick Indiana to win here, but again, it's going to be barely by the skin of their teeth. 6 Iowa State, 11 Pittsburgh, who won last night. I'm going to take Iowa State there to win. 3 Xavier, 14 Kennesaw State. Again, Kennesaw State, another interesting 14 seed, but I'm going to go Xavier there. 7 Texas A&M, 10 Penn State, and then 2 Texas, 15 Colgate. So I have Texas winning there easily. But back to A&M and Penn State. What's interesting is that if A&M wins this game, then they're most likely going to face Texas. That's one of the best rivalries in college that got canceled once A&M went to the SEC. So that'd be interesting and fun if that were to happen. But I'm going to go Penn State with the upset, right with their hot momentum there. Texas A&M got gypped. They should have gotten a 6 seed. So now they're going to pay the consequences for that. And then the second round, you got 1 Houston, 9 Auburn. Now Houston's best player, Sasser, is injured, so he's questionable for this matchup. And I feel like because of that, Auburn can make it interesting, but I'm going to have Houston survive here. And then 12 Drake, 4 Indiana. Now again, because Indiana is so hot and cold, and Drake would feel good upsetting a good Miami team, I'm going to roll with Drake there to get in the Sweet 16 because it's very popular to get at least 1 double-digit seed in the Sweet 16. So this is my double-digit seed in the Sweet 16. 6 Iowa State, 3 Xavier. This one go either way because Iowa State has a key player out. I'm going to go Xavier there. 10 Penn State, 2 Texas. I'm going to go Texas there. And Sweet 16, you got Houston Drake. That's where Drake's magical run comes to an end. I'm going to have Houston win again, despite whether their best player is healthy or not in that one. And then 3 Xavier, 2 Texas. A very interesting matchup here. But I'm going to go Texas. And the Elite 8, you got Houston, Texas. Now, what's interesting is that the Final Four is in Houston. So if Houston can make it to the Final Four, then they're going to have home court advantage for the Final Four, which would be awesome. But Texas is going to spoil the party there. I'm going to have Texas getting the win. And then in the West, first round, you have 1 Kansas, 16 Howard. Kansas wins easily. 8 Arkansas, 9 Illinois. Now, again, both teams are very inconsistent here. But Arkansas just has the better talent, so I'm going to go with Arkansas here. 5 St. Mary's versus 12 VCU. Now this one's interesting because, while St. Mary's is the better team here, the one thing that St. Mary's has shown their last couple games is that they don't do well when you pressure them, full court pressure them, and play intense defense, which that's what VCU's MO, that's what they can do. Now, will VCU score enough on offense? I'm not sure, but if they can, then they should get the win. and I'm going to have them barely get the win here in a low-scoring game. For UConn 13, I want to, now again, if I was facing a different force, like maybe Tennessee or something, then maybe I would pick them for the upset, but UConn's rolling, and I'm going to go with UConn. 6 TCU, they'll face the winner of Arizona State, Nevada tonight. Doesn't matter, I'm going TCU there. 3 Gonzaga, 14 Grand Canyon, going Gonzaga there, although that could be a high-scoring fun game. 7 Northwestern versus 10 Boise State. A lot of people like Boise State in this one, which I'm just not seeing it. I'm going with Northwestern there. And a close game. 2 UCLA versus 15 USC Astro. Now, I'm not predicting the 15 seed upsets, but if there was to be a 15 seed like last year with St. Peter's winning, this would be the 15 seed to get the upset. Because 1, they have a very underrated elite point guard, and then 2, UCLA has some injuries to deal with. So, but I'm going UCLA there. But that could be a closer game than what you may think. Second round, you got 1 Kansas, 8 Arkansas. And again, Arkansas can make this interesting, make it a close game. I'm going to go Kansas to survive there. 12 VCU for UConn. I'm going UConn there. 6 TCU, 3 Gonzaga. And a lot of people love Gonzaga in this tournament, whether it's making Elite 8, making a 5-4. It's just like, hold up here. 1, Gonzaga is a horrible defensive team this year. 2, they're not the same team as they were in last year's. They were one season. They were really good and all that. And if they couldn't do like they want to do, whether it's win a championship or last year, even when they had an elite team, it couldn't even make an Elite 8. It's like, I'm not going to trust them to go far in this. So I have 6 TCU upsetting 3 Gonzaga. And then 7 Northwestern, 2 UCLA. Now, again, this could be interesting because of UCLA's best defensive player being out and all that, but I'm going to go ahead and have UCLA survive here. And then the Sweet 16, you have 1 Kansas for UConn. This is one of those games where I've gone back and forth so many times. But because of UConn's length and size, which Kansas actually lacks this year, which is unusual for them, I'm going to go ahead and have UConn get the upset here barely. And then 6 TCU, 2 UCLA. I feel like UCLA's best defensive player out and all that. I feel like I'll eventually catch up to them. I have it catch up to here. 6 TCU gets the upset. So you have a 4 UConn, 6 TCU Elite 8 matchup, and I have UConn winning that one. So then for the Final Four, you have 1 Alabama versus 5 Duke. Very interesting matchup there. I'm going to go ahead and go with Bama there. They have the best player. They've been the better team all year. I'm just going to roll with Alabama there. And then 2 Texas, 4 UConn. Again, good battle can go either way. But I'm going to go ahead and go with Texas there. So you have a Texas-Alabama title game matchup, which is it was the title game matchup for college football back in 2008 there. A little fun tidbit there. Another fun tip is that a 2 seed has not won the NCAA tournament since Villanova did back in 2006, I think. So it's been a long time. But I'm going to go ahead and go with the Longhorns here. For 1, again, this, like I said earlier, this is in Houston. So Texas is close enough, Austin's close enough to Houston. So they're going to basically have home court advantage there. So that's going to help them. But then 2, again, playing in the Big 12 conference, it's very popular to have a Big 12 team go to the Final Four, if not potentially win a championship, like Kansas did last year, Baylor did before that, Texas Tech made the finals the year before that. It's like, Big 12 teams, since they're playing the toughest conference, they get battle tested the most, and I feel like, with Texas smoking a good Kansas team twice in recent weeks, and them being really, smoking other teams like Gonzaga and all that, I feel like this could be the team to spoil Alabama's run here, so I'm going to have Texas win barely. So again, that's my bracket. And I will admit that, since I have till tomorrow, before the tournament games begin, I could change things last moment, but that's what I have as of right now. So thank you very much for listening to my podcast. Please subscribe to my channel to learn about me. Thank you very much. You all have a wonderful day.